such an asshole.
I think I found out why one of the main reasons I'm a misanthrope and hate people and just the human race in general, because it is, to me, maybe I should have link below, by the way, is to a book, title, link to a book called Worthless. I also should have linked to Curse of the High IQ, because maybe I just keep overestimating the general basic population. But is it really that much of a Scooby-Doo mystery to the world what the cause of poverty is? To me, it's like, I mean, there's many causes like sickness, bad statistical unlikely things happen, but the main cause of people being poor is you'll keep having kids you can't afford. It's simple math. You measure wealth on an or income, rich or poorness on a per capita basis. If you spit out more capita, like let's say I just spit out one capita, okay? I find a girl, she just doesn't, you don't have to support me. Just here's your extra capita. Here's little junior Aaron. I've halved, dropped my wealth, the standard of living by 50%. And you go to like some of these sub-Saharan Africa countries, the fertility rate is 8 or 9. What would your standards of living be if you just had one kid? You could, I mean, real quick, rough math, you would increase your income per capita by 250, 300% without trillion-dollar infrastructure investment, without any kind of without major investments in education or IT. Just stop having kids you can't afford. And that's sub-Saharan Africa. Here in it's no different. No different. Doesn't matter where you go. I'm just pulling that because they have the highest fertility rates and consequently the lowest income per capita. And I just wonder here, it's the same thing in the U.S. The poorest people have the most kids they can't afford. Scooby-Doo mystery. We're in a bad situation. Let me guess. It isn't. And here's where it is. It's too late for these people. I'm trying to help them out. But to the younger people, look, life is going to be hard enough already as it is. You're going to see that these people are in a bad situation because of bad choices they made. It wasn't the meteorite. It wasn't luck or God. It wasn't the white man or the Republicans in the Senate or the patriarchy. They made two dumb decisions, both of them, and now they're in a bad situation. And I just got to wonder, like, could you just hold off on one of the bad decisions until you're in a stable spot? Deep down inside, there's an economist in me, and the whole point is to like get people out of poverty, increase standards of living. And it's like, look, knock it off with, we're going to change interest rates. We're going to, monetary easing, monetary theory. When more investment in education. Stop having kids you can't afford. There should be a statue of me up at some park somewhere, on some university campus, maybe in front of the Treasury Department. I don't know. Wherever the economists hang out. Genius economist solves poverty. Plague of humanity since existence. Genius economist. But then I'd be kind of pissed because it's not a reflection upon my genius. It's like everyone else is so freaking stupid. How don't you see this? I estimate anywhere between at least 65, at least 2/3 of poverty to damn well near 85, 90% of poverty could be wiped out. And then the remaining poverty would be like genuinely misfortunate thing. You got a disease, you got hit by a car, something that is outside of your control. But oh my God, how does the penis and vagina work? Oh my God, what's this little thing coming out of your body? Why is it crying? Taking care of kids is hard. We need more government money. So let's go through it. Let's go through it. Hey, Cappy, long-time viewer-listener here. You were a long-time listener? Did it go in one ear and out the other? Youngish 30, married father of one-year-old who's looking to get out of California, Los Angeles specifically. You had a child not only in California, but Los Angeles? Looking to get out of California as soon as possible. I'd say so, yes. Fearing that California is going into further crap, if that's somehow possible, I don't want to raise my child here. The problem, of course, my finances. And why are your finances poor? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You increase the per capita. You're married. Good for that. Stick around nuclear family. That's good. You're a good dad. But with two people, you add a third. You have lowered your standard of living by a third. And now finances are tight. I want that statue. I want that statue in front of some big economic institution. I'm currently working part-time and not a profession. Not a profession. Not a real job. It's a job. You're working. Good for you. This is not a, and you know what though? If you're working part-time to take care of the kid, God bless you, sir. You're a good dad. You're a very good dad. You're better than nearly every but the finance, why are you working that joke of a job? Why? We're going to find out. Making $30,000 a year and taking care of my son the other half. You're a good man. Very good man. My wife makes $75,000. I'm just going to say as an overpaid college employee. All right. It's not a real job. What happens if interest rates go up? What happens if all of a sudden people stop going to college? That is a make work government job. You know that, right? You know that. And that's a sweet gig where she can get it. Can she find it elsewhere? Probably not. She's going to have to, really? Can you pick up and find that elsewhere? Seeing that we are also $100,000 in student loan debt, you're 33 and you have a 1-year-old son, 32, 22, you had a decade? You had a decade. A decade to pay off this debt and you still have 100,000? No, where is it? 100,000 school loan. I don't see us being able to safely leave in the near future. I've been thinking of either getting a commercial license, doing some trucking to join the Alex Patino, truck driving Latino agent in the field community, or some other trade altogether to earn more money as well as having said skill that could be used anywhere else in the state. Boy, imagine if between the ages of 18 to 22, you did that. Or between the ages of 22 to 32, you did that. How do you have $100,000 debt with both of you being dinks for so long? I hope you bought some really nice, worthless crap. Help me, Obi-Wan. Cappy, you got that? Where's that set the time machine? I'd like to hear what you think. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. I said, yeah, I says to the guy. Well, what are both your wife's and yours education and training? See how I knew that? See how I knew immediately to go there? We're both sociology majors. Shocker, I know, typical millennials. Yes, you are typical millennials. And you know what? Even with the power vested in me by God, God's asshole representative on planet Earth himself, I can't save you. You're a bleep crick. What do you want me to do? You're sadly, the only function you're going to serve for society is what not to do. And you're doing better than average because you're a dad that actually invests in his kid. You've been in the industry for 6 years, making your 30 grand a year. I don't care how long. You notice time in the industry, you make as much as like, I guess it's part-time. I guess you're making okay salary. Your wife has been working in education 10 years. No kidding. No kidding. The sociology major got to go work at a nonprofit because nowhere else in the real world will have her. You guys are lucky she got a good government gig. You're lucky. All right, here's where you're going to. Okay, here's the problem. No matter which way you're going to slice it, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. All right, you're going to have to do without. You're going to have to work more. You're going to have to go without sleep. And ultimately, that's what it boils down to. You're going to have to go without sleep. Now, there are two general paths out of this, both you and your wife, you like do some research and find out where in the United States you can move and live off of one income. Because I mean, yeah, you could get an income and a half, like recreate what you got somewhere else where it's cheaper and safer, right? But that's going to take some time. So usually it's going to be, all right, who could get, it's probably the wife, got 10 years experience doing jack F all crap at the academic institutions. What? I can't say because I identify her position, but the irony of her being a sociology major. All right. So the one good thing you got going for you, teehee, we're typical millennials, I know. Well, thank God, because the Zoomers and the millennials are not participating in the labor force. And you could kind of find a job anywhere you go now. And it will pay enough that you should be able, between the both of you, to be able to live. It won't be fancy living conditions. Matter of fact, I would recommend you guys get a one-bedroom apartment just to get out of LA, get out of California. I agree with you there. You may not have to go that far. Vegas is, I mean, still okay economy over here. But wherever it is, you got to go find out where in the world you can work like just, I'm not kidding, like bartending, waiter. It may not pay a lot, but it would pay enough if both you and your wife work some kind of job. Now, I would say her, because she has the profession, see if she could find a job elsewhere in the United States that is not California. All right. This may take months, by the way, just so you know. Have her apply for jobs, see if she can essentially get her same job somewhere else. And then you get some kind of job like bartending so you could take care of your son. All right. And then you move. And I don't care. The most boring state to me is Arkansas. I've never been there. I just had no reason to go there. I don't know Arkansas. Yeah, maybe Nebraska is pretty boring too. But wherever this is in the United States, you should be able to find employment, both full-time and part-time for the both of you, that would allow you and your family to move. If you live in a one-bedroom apartment, it should be absolutely possible. So that's the good news. The bad news is you're going to have to skill up. All right. So if you're not going to leave LA, you are going to have to skill up. Well, here's the problems. You got a kid. Oh my God. Now they take money, they take time. And so I don't know. You're kind of pigeonholed right now. Like, yeah, you could do trades. Yeah, you could truck drive, but you're going to be gone truck driving. What's your wife's supposed? Now you got to pay for daycare. Kid can't go work in the coal mines just yet. So I don't know. Trades maybe? I mean, keep doing what you do until you can move out. The truck driving, that's no, you're just gonna, whatever money you make truck driving, you have to pay for daycare. Accounting? It's about the only thing, man, I think you could do is accounting, because it'll allow you to stay, raise your kid, all right, whilst, he takes a nap, you study your accounting, you get an associate's at a certain certification, you just start working online, maybe, if you're lucky, maybe. Or you go work part-time accountant and start building up in there so that you have an actual skill. But that's it. You're going to work more and you're going to suffer and you're going to go without sleep. And the only advice I could give you is thank God for the tight labor market. Thank God for the lack of work ethic on younger generations, because you can actually go get a living wage somewhere. It ain't going to be glorious. You might have to be in Kentucky, or maybe Texas or something, but you should be able to find it. And now you get to do the research. And you're also going to have to drive out there. You might have to drive out to, I'm just trying to think of another boring state. Illinois. Well, don't go to Illinois. Indiana. Ohio. Don't go to Ohio either. You got to pay local income tax there too. I don't know. Just go to these boring, bland states a lot of people don't want to live in, but they're desperate for work because everyone's on meth. Eastern Kentucky. That's it. There you go. But link below for, you followed me for a long time, huh? Because Worthless was out in 2011, 12 years ago. We subtract 12 from your age. That would have put you at 21. Okay, you were going to college. Well, maybe you weren't following me back then. Did I do the math on that right? Yeah. So below is a link to a book called Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. For the low, low price, I think of $12.95, you too can avoid $100,000 in debt living in a dangerous leftist crap hole in California with no employment prospects or possibilities. And at least a decade of financial and sleep deprived pain. I'm not sure these worthless degrees will destroy lives or at least make them harder. Could have at least make them harder. But you'll all follow that. By the way, your wife should know, how do I put this? I hope she does her job right. I hope she does her job right. Know what I'm saying, sweetheart? Yeah, but if this was the 90s, you'd be hosed because there wasn't no like labor shortage. We didn't have no unemployment rate below 4%. The boomers like, kiss the ring. You know the job description? It immediately changes once you apply and work for us. Yes, you will clean the toilets, and I'll be passive aggressive and bipolar, give you contradictory orders because I am the boomer lord God boss almighty. Talk to the HR lady about things that have nothing to do with your job. Yes. Any super chats? Ethan Burton, $5. Big money for electricians now that electrical vehicle chargers, solar panels required for government buildings. Got to get my tax dollars back somehow. Yeah, that's something he could do. You know, he's going to have to learn to become an electrician. And now he's got to go to trade school for a year or two, or at least apprentice. Like, I mean, why don't you go get a gun and shoot your foot off while you're at it? Honest to God, pick up a heroin addiction. I mean, here's another thing. I said about here's another book I should have linked below. How not to become a millennial. do, do you realize the classic example of you all pursuing the easy way? Because let's be very honest about what you guys did. You both majored in sociology because you were lazy and you didn't want to work. How's that avoiding work now working for you? How is it? Are you avoiding work? Do you have a nice life of luxury? Do you wake up and sip your coffee till 9 a.m. and roll into the office whenever you want because you got to work remote? How is it going avoiding work? That it? That's it. Oh, God. See, you'd have to buy a piece of property outside the University of Minnesota. There might be. There might be a piece of property you could buy. Hell, it might be burnt down by now. I can't wait because the Carlson School is right up against it wasn't a bad part of town. It wasn't the greatest part of town. It wasn't a bad part of town either. Now it's becoming bad. It's like, yeah, yeah. You get an MBA, and you get a little piece of lead in your arm. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.